Hi everyone, so my name is Gilles Fedak, and today I'm going to present you a talk about, it's a very strong claim actually, it's what is Web3 was more about sharing secret than transferring value. So we try to defend that claim during this talk. I hope I will convince you, and if I don't convince you, maybe it's because we are not doing Web3, but we are already into Web4. So the schedule for the talk is the following. First, I will very briefly introduce you iExec for those of you who don't know us already. We'll give our vision of Web3 and why it might be a little bit different than the others. Then I will introduce you what we call privacy-enhancing marketing. It's a new concept for doing marketing while respecting the privacy. And then I will introduce a series of new products that we call dev tools to enable developers to very easily build their own privacy-enhancing marketing product. And then I will present a marketing campaign that we are launching to promote these PEM tools. So a lot of very interesting news today, so let's start. So the story of iExec, very briefly. It started in 2015 with Haiwu and me, the original ideas. In 2017, we did the ICO. We released the RLC token. It's now listed on Coinbase and Binance and many others. And some milestones I want really to give you that are relevant for this talk. In 2019, we did the version 4 of iExec, and that was the very first marketplace for monetizing both CPU and data, so a place where people can run CPU and data. In 2020, we introduced confidential computing, and we were probably one of the very first projects in Web3 to to mix blockchain and confidential computing. In 2021, we basically developed everything that was promised in the white paper, and we did that in 4 years instead of 5, and we did well beyond what was promised in the white paper in the sense that confidential computing was not there, and we introduced confidential computing. And nowadays, in 2023, we have released the version 8 of iExec stack, and we are also releasing new products based on this stack that make the usage of iExec extremely simple. So the team has worked very hard to get that ready for HCC. They really deserve a big bravo. Congratulations, guys. That was really amazing to have that ready. So, iExec, what are we doing? We are first a platform to build Web3 applications that are decentralized, privacy-preserving, and ownership-preserving. Next, we are a marketplace protocol that allows people to monetize easily their application, their data set, or their computing power. And what makes us unique is the fact that we are combining in one single technology confidential computing, blockchain, and monetization. So our approach to Web3. So our claim is that Web3 is transferring value and sharing secret. And that's really important. That's the two. Sharing secret and transferring value. And why is that? It's because if you are only transferring value, you are only addressing what's on-chain. When you do both, you are really targeting the whole digital world. Okay? Meaning that a file, you can treat a file exactly as if it was a crypto. So, transferring value, well, you already know that. Of course, I won't elaborate that much. The problem you have to solve is double spending, right? So, before we knew how to copy information, we didn't know how to move information. And that's basically a problem that has been solved by Bitcoin during the white paper. And the proposition, the technology proposition was a blockchain, which is a decentralized ledger that stores the values. Sharing secret, what does it mean, sharing a secret? If Alice has a secret and sends that secret to Bob, then it's no longer a secret because the secret is revealed to Bob, right? So sharing a secret, it means that Alice has a secret, Bob can use that secret, but that secret is never revealed to Bob. Okay, and here the key notion is usage. Usage in digital world, that's basically a computation. Okay, and the key enabler technology for that is what we call confidential computing. Confidential computing, it's a technology that allows to compute and during the computation, the secret is never revealed. So before confidential computing, we knew how to store secret, how to transfer secret. Now, with confidential computing, we know how to compute on secrets. Okay? So our particular technology that we are using for that is called Intel Aegis Enclave. That's basically hardware cryptography. It's a segment of memory in your microprocessor that is never decrypted. And so everything you ship that segment in that computer, the enclave, will always be protected. So in terms of data management, when you have blockchain and when you have confidential computing, it opens a lot of new horizons. So and you can do a lot of things that were just never, that you couldn't do before. So for instance, you can do end-to-end privacy, where you can transfer data over a network and it will never be revealed even during computation. You can have true ownership, which means that if, for instance, you rent the data, then you are sure that nobody can steal the data, nobody can copy the data. You can have governance, it's stored on-chain. So because it's stored on-chain, you know that people cannot modify the governance rule or cannot delete your governance rules. And then you have monetization very easily. Either it can be either very simple token transfer, or it can be way more complex, integrated with DeFi protocols, etc., etc. So of course, a real breakthrough. And because it's very new, it opens a lot of different use cases. You can target personal data, you can target digital art, you can, a lot of different use cases. Today, I'm going to present one particular use case that is around marketing. So marketing in Web3 is very challenging. And why is that? They are good and bad. The good is what you know. The good is that what you know about your users is their wallet. And so if you go on the blockchain, you can learn a lot about your users by looking at their wallet. You can see their wealth, you can see the tokens they have, you can see the NFTs, the products they are using, or the product they have used, etc., etc. The bad is, all you know about your users is their wallet address. So that's very hard to reach them. How do you contact them? Okay? And how do you target an audience? How do you engage people? And there's one specific thing which is really specific to Web3 is that what you really don't want to have is to be able to reconcile, to link actual user identity with their wallet, because then it's a really, it's a nightmare in terms of privacy. So our solution to this challenge is what we call privacy-enhancing marketing. It relies on 4 principles that are very simple and that can be implemented with the project I'm going to show you. First, personal data should remain private and only owned by the users. Second, we need privacy-preserving communication channel that allow projects to communicate with their users without knowing nothing about their personal identity. We need explicit user consent each time personal data is shared with someone. And finally, people, when they are engaged in a marketing activity, they should be rewarded for doing so. So when we wanted to address this problem of how to build PIM, privacy-enhancing marketing, we came up with this idea of providing some tools for the developers so that they can easily implement their own PM solutions. And so we designed a couple of developer tools that I'm going to present to you now. The first one is Data Protector. It makes very simple the management for privacy, governance, and ownership for data. So to get you an idea of how it works, the example is very simple, basically. Alice has a personal data. This is her email address. And Bob wants to send her an email. And what we want to do is to use Data Protector to protect Alice's email address. So basically, Bob will be able to send Alice an email, but all he knows about Alice is her Ethereum wallet address, and he knows nothing about the actual email address. So Data Protector will create a protected data based on a JSON file. And this JSON file only contains a key and a value. So the key is email, which is public, and the value is the actual email address, which is private. The application is a confidential computing application, which is an email, an application that sends an email, very easy. And of course, the email itself sent by Bob is also a secret. And so the idea is that we put all that together within an enclave, and that's the technology, the SGX enclave that makes that private and that provide the privacy. So the governance. Before Bob can send an email to Alice, Alice first has to explicitly give the consent to do so. So it means that first she should authorize the application to use her email address, and next she must authorize Bob to use also her email address. And once the consent is done, is granted, then the email can be sent. And ownership, so remember you have this JSON file which represents the actual private data. This is the ownership of this file is represented by an NFT. And so Alice is the owner of that data as long as she owns the NFT, meaning that if she transfers the NFT, she will lose the ability to use her email address. In the background, so this is what we do for you. You don't have to manage that when you're using Data Protector. There's an encrypted file, which is stored on IPFS. The key to encrypt and decrypt the files are stored in what we call the iExec secret management service. The responsibility of the SMS is to deliver the keys to the one that are to the enclaves that are authorized to use so, the compute nodes, according to the governance rules, of course. And plus, we publish the schema of the JSON file on-chain using Ethereum EVM events. And this is indexed by the graph, which allows to build a sort of ontology so that you can look for all the data that have some specific properties. So any builders there? So we have you covered. Everything is so simple to use. It's just a regular NPM package, JavaScript, TypeScript. Data Protector, it's only 6 methods to create protected data, manage, grant access, revoke access, doing permission, all these things. Very easy to use. You won't manage any confidential computing stuff, no remote attestation, no smart contract deployment, nothing. You can embed that in your React application, your web app, etc., etc. We also propose you Web3 Mail, which is another package to build PM application based on the regular email. If you don't like that good old email, no problem. You take that code, you fork it, you implement it for Telegram, Twitter, whatever you want. We have the developer reward program to help you. We have bounties, we have grants, and we will help you doing so. And we will be really happy to do so. We have our first builders who have already integrated PM in their product. Talent Layer, it's an open protocol and developer toolkit for building hiring platforms, and they are actually using PM to establish privacy-preserving, secure communication channel with their users. Ziplo is using Data Protector to give proof of existence for writings, article, papers, code to protect their intellectual property. We are also launching a huge marketing campaign to promote PM, and that's also our first use case of PM, the very own that we are building and releasing. It's called the Privacy Pass. It's very simple. You earn RSC token for receiving email. Okay, so it's very simple. You claim your Privacy Pass, you enter your email address, connect MetaMask, you have a couple of transactions to sign, obviously. Then you will be given a list of partners you will accept receiving email from. And if you subscribe to those newsletters, you set your own price for receiving email. Of course, they have access to your wallet, so they can assess if it's worthy or not. And then you earn those RSC tokens. We have actually, I think, more than 8,000 subscribers, and we launched that about 10 days ago, something like that, 10 or 15 days ago. So it's quite successful, I think. Okay, thank you. I hope that next time you will be asked, what is Web3? You will answer, well, it's two things, transferring value and sharing secrets. You can try that this evening at parties and see if it works. If you like that talk, if you want to know more about what we're doing, please visit our booth. We are at the third floor. Also, try to get your Privacy Pass to receive RSC token, and enjoy Paris, and happy hiking. So we have time for a couple questions.
Hi. You mentioned keys being stored in the SMS. Are they public keys or private keys?
So in the SMS you can store any kind of secret. So you can store private keys, you can store APIs, APIs credentials and this kind of thing. The SMS itself runs within an enclave. It means that we have no access to what's in the SMS. Even also, yeah.
Okay. Hi. So, and you're using IPFS for data store. I'm not particularly clued up on IPFS, but I thought there was a pruning behavior. So would that data be pruned in the long term?
Yeah, so we don't ensure any data availability on top of IPFS. Absolutely, yeah. We rely on IPFS, so if IPFS has its own policy for evicting old files or this kind of things, if it's managed like a cache, for instance, we can go against IPFS. But I think that we have solutions so that we can kind of pin some files and make sure they are available. I don't know all the gory details about IPFS, but I encourage you to talk with the team about that. But yes, I agree with you. I know that with such kind of distributed storage, you are no guarantee of durability for your file, definitely.
Thank you.